Boys, what is up? Welcome to a new video. Today, we're going to be doing our first top 25 for the college basketball season. This is week 1. I'll be doing my rankings on Saturdays, every Saturday. I'm not sure what day the AP comes out with their poll, the coaches poll, or anything like that. I'm just going to do mine on Saturday so it can't be mixed up. So this is college basketball after, I believe, 4 days of games. Let's see where we are right now. First, starting out with number 25. We're going from 25 to 1. Starting with 25 is Arizona State. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking that this is too high. They should probably not be ranked because they have a loss already on the season. And typically, I would agree with you if that loss was not to the number. Actually, I'm not going to reveal that. A top team in the nation in Villanova. Villanova, and they actually challenged Villanova. Arizona State played well. First half, it was looking really good for them. Second half, Villanova started to pull away. That's why I'm just barely keeping them in the top 25 for this week. Let's move on to number 24, who is the Marquette basketball team. Marquette has been a team that's really surprised me. They do not have Marcus Howard anymore, and they are still performing like they still do, which is really surprising. They've been playing really well. I don't know how long they can make it last, but right now they are a top 25 team in the nation. Number 23, another team who has not been ranked in the AP poll. Number 23, the NC State Wolfpack. NC State is a team, for me, that although they haven't played a tough schedule so far in their 2 games, they performed like a top 25 team in the nation. As you guys know, I'm a Tar Heel fan, so you know this isn't biased. NC State has looked good. Manny Bates averages like 3 blocks a game or whatever. That man is such a stud. Devin Daniels is absolutely falling out, and the team is just so much more talented than NC State usually has. I expect NC State to stay in this top 25 range throughout the season. Number 22, Michigan. Now Michigan, I love the coaching staff there in Michigan. I think DeJuan Howard's a great coach, and so far off to a hot start. I don't expect them to maybe finish in the top 25, but right now I can't keep them out of this. So 22 for Michigan, the Wolverines. 21, Rutgers. Rutgers is just stepping their game up across all the sports. Football, they're on the rise. Basketball, you could even say that. Rutgers, I mean, they've looked good. 21, I think they're ranked 23rd in the AP poll, if I'm not mistaken. Rutgers has looked really good. Haven't lost. Haven't played good competition yet, of course, as most teams haven't. But they've looked good. I can't say anything else about them. Number 20, Texas Longhorns. This kid, Greg Brown, for Texas is absolutely special. I think this is a really good Texas team. Shaka Smart, I think, is a good head coach. I expect this team to maintain this throughout the season in a typically what I would consider a weak Big 12 this year. I think they'll be able to maintain a pretty good record in a weak Big 12 conference outside of Baylor. Number 19, Ohio State Buckeyes. Another team that they have some losses, but they also have some great returning talent and incoming talent. Performed well so far this year. 19 for Ohio State. 18, the University of Houston. Houston, what's that guy's name? Is it Devon Dotson, I believe, maybe? That could be totally wrong, but it's a transfer from Kansas who's absolutely falling out for them now. He's looked really good, and in a weaker conference that I think they'll be able to have a good record and maintain that for the NCAA tournament, and they'll stay in these rankings probably throughout the year with a weaker conference. So Houston, number 18. 17. Now this team has not played a game yet, but the Florida State Seminoles are underranked in the AP poll. I think even 17 for Florida State is probably lower than they'll end up at the end of the year. This team is very talented. They did just lose 2 lottery picks to the NBA draft, but they returned some high volume scorers, and they brought in Scotty Barnes in a stud recruiting class that can help this team, Leonard Hamilton and this team, make a big run this year. 17, I expect them to stay in this range or go even higher this year. 17. 16, Michigan State Spartans. Probably a team you guys have a little higher than this, but I watched a little bit of their game against East Michigan. They didn't look fantastic. They lost Xavier Tillman and Cassius Winston, but there's still talent on that roster, and I think right now I just can't think above 16, like the spot though. Number 15, my team, the North Carolina Tar Heels, who, freshman-wise, I thought performed really well this past week. I'm looking for more from Garrison Brooks, but it's the first game. We've only had 1 game so far, so don't worry about that, Tar Heel fans out there. He'll be back. He'll be ready for the next one. Charleston, I didn't expect that team to be as good as shooters they were. They were willing to shoot the 3 ball, and they did. And they did it pretty well at times, but they were kind of either hot or cold, and that allowed Carolina just to eventually just run away with the game in the second half. Next at number 14, the Duke Blue Devils. Yes, this is probably another team that you guys have a lot higher. But I watched their game today against Coppin State, or whatever their name is, and in the first half especially, they did not look like a typical Duke team. You look at that starting rotation, you don't see the talent that you would usually see, especially at the point guard spot. I don't like this team to even be back in the top 10 like the AP poll has them. I think they'll be a good team as they usually typically are, but not as good as they typically are. Duke not as good as usual, but they'll still be good enough to go to the NCAA tournament. Right now, from how they look today, only 1 spot above the Tar Heels at 14. At 13, the 3-0 so far, West Virginia Mountaineers. West Virginia had a little bit of a close call against Western Kentucky the other day. They're able to pull it off, and even if they did lose that game, Western Kentucky is a good team. And they had played 3 games straight, so I wouldn't penalize them that badly. But winning 3 games straight at the beginning of this weird season, I gotta give them props. I gotta move them up my rankings. West Virginia looks really good. Number 13 for the Mountaineers. Number 12, taking a big dive from, I think I had them 6th. I don't think I did a preseason poll, but I think I had them 6th in just myself, thinking to myself. They lost a big game to San Francisco. They did not look good whatsoever in that game. San Francisco was honestly making easy shots, even though they were getting easier buckets than the score implied with their only 61 points. Virginia not looking good at all, struggling to put the ball in the basket. I think it's going to hurt them throughout this year. So number 12 for Virginia. Probably could have put them a little lower, honestly. Number 11, the Tennessee Volunteers. I just love this roster, man. We haven't seen them yet, but this roster is so talented, bro. I had to have them at least 11. I wanted to put them in the top 10, but I just couldn't do it because they haven't played yet. So 11 for Tennessee. Texas Tech at number 10. Matt McClung doing things I had not expected to do, honestly. He's looked really good. They played, I believe, 3 games in 3 days, and they've won all of them. So props to them for that. Had to raise them for that. Texas Tech has looked good. Actually, maybe it's 2 games for them. Either way, this Texas Tech team is nice, and I expect them to maintain this throughout the year. Number 9, Creighton. Creighton is also another team that I think will be, we haven't seen yet obviously, but I think they'll be able to maintain a high ranking this year because obviously in a weaker conference. They don't have to face as tough of teams, and it's still a talented lineup. Even with the easy schedule, I think they'll be able to pull out big wins when they have to. And yeah, man, I just like this Creighton team. Anyway, moving on to number 8, Kansas. Yes, Kansas. I only moved down slightly because they play Gonzaga, and Gonzaga, as you guys know, it's a very tough team to beat. And they played throughout the first half. They played right there with them, and a lot of the second half as well. They played right there with them. They look very talented. Still, at Big 12, I do not trust this year at all. But Kansas is a pretty good team, I'd say. But Gonzaga is too much. Since it was Gonzaga, I didn't move them down as much as I probably should have. So Kansas at 8. Number 7. Here, I think, is the next biggest riser, the Kentucky Wildcats. This Kentucky team is extremely young with all the freshmen, as they usually are. But this team, I feel, plays more together. Even though it's only been one game we've seen, they look like they have been playing with each other for years. They look like a really experienced team out there, although it's just freshmen, and it was an easy opponent. So I probably shouldn't have risen this high. But 7, I think, right now is fair for the Kentucky Wildcats. Number 6, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, the team that I just had to move up simply because teams lost below them. They were probably in that 9 to 10 range right now. But since both Kansas and Virginia lost, I had to move Wisconsin above both of them. So number 6 for Wisconsin right now with the Badgers. At number 5, entering the top 5, we have the Illinois Illini, the Fighting Illini. I kind of sleeping on this team going into the year, but Ayo Dosunmu, he's absolutely fantastic. That Miller kid, that freshman, he looks absolutely fantastic. Kofi Coburn, absolutely fantastic. This is a very talented roster, probably the best team they've had since they played Carolina in the 2005 championship. Illinois looks really good, so top 5 for me in this week's rankings. Number 4, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Luka Garza, right now looking like the favorite for the player of the year in college basketball. He just dropped 41 the other day, and this Iowa team does not look like they're slowing down any soon. So 4 right now for Iowa. Number 3 is the Baylor Bears, who I was very tempted to put below Iowa, but I didn't. Because I think they could be even as high as number 2 or number 1. But they haven't played yet, so I had to put them at 3. But Baylor's a really nice team, really talented. On to number 2, Villanova. Villanova, they've been tested already in their first 2 games. They struggled a little bit in their first match against Boston College, but I did not penalize them too much for that. That's the first game. And the crazy things happened in the first game of the season. They did pull it out, and they already have a ranked win under their belt against Arizona State, as I was mentioning earlier. This is a great team. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl looks great, and this team is absolutely fantastic. So number 2 for me, because number 1 is obviously the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Probably the clear number 1 right now in the entire country. I don't see much of an argument for any other team. Gonzaga's just too overpowered. So much talent on that roster, and with a stud recruiting class, it's gonna be tough to beat them this season. Gonzaga at number 1. So guys, that's everything. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like if you want, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.